As most of you know, Disney is going to be rebooting Power Rangers on Disney Plus. But before we get there, we're going to have another pit stop, which is the dark side of Power Rangers. It is a brand new sort of retrospective look back that's being worked on by people that worked on the original series. And one thing that was recently made explicitly clear was the fact that they feel bad about casting a black person as the Black Ranger and a yellow person as the Yellow Ranger. So I just want to say this. As of the making of this video, we don't know the full story and what could be revealed in this dark side of Power Rangers, which is going to be like a investigative documentary into Power Rangers, obviously. But a couple quotes have made it out there, and this is coming at us from EW, which they sat down with one of the former head writers, Tony Oliver, and talked about the choices in the series, and specifically the casting choices were brought up. Now, again, if something is revealed in the documentary that sheds more light on it, again, I can't retroactively fix this in the past, okay? People don't seem to understand that. They go to old videos, they're like, this is wrong. Yeah, I can't time travel and or amend an old video. I know some people don't understand, but that's how it works. So updates are made. Either way, though, he was talking about the stereotypes, and specifically casting Zach, the Black Ranger, and putting them in a black costume, and then Trini, the Yellow Ranger, and making her obviously be Asian. And he said that to them, none of us thought stereotypes or even looked at that and realized it was wrong. He said that at one point, it was actually his assistant that pointed it out to him, and how stereotypical and stereo-driven this whole thing was. And he says he realized right then and there that that was a mistake. And then when they looked at the whole idea of the characters, oh wait, so you're telling me the black guy is the Black Ranger and he's described as having swagger, and Trini, the Yellow Ranger, just by chance ended up being the peaceful one of the group that's the most like conscious and, you know, down to earth. And that this was really something that they say is an oversight. And then he talks about how they sort of approach this, and looking back on it, he says that it was a mistake and that maybe they should have caught it and fixed it. And as somebody that grew up, I was very young when I first saw Power Rangers, and I didn't really get on board with it till Power Rangers Zeo Turbo era. Like, don't get me wrong, I liked Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and I watched it, but it was after it ended that I really got into it and the other series and characters and seasons. But even back then, I never remember anybody, including my friends in school or anybody, ever having an issue with this. Like, I never recall anybody being like, oh, look at that, they made the Yellow Ranger an Asian, that's a thing. Like, it just wasn't a thing back then that anybody, you know, talked about. And like, when kids in the neighborhood would go outside and play Power Rangers or whatever, literally nobody was like, hey, you can't be the Black Ranger, you can't be the yellow one, or you can't be the blue one because of this or that. We just like passed the roles around. Like, nobody was ever having an issue with it. So I don't know, maybe it was different where I grew up as opposed to other places, but this is just a weird scenario to me. And what's interesting about this is that there's a lot of people now saying that, like, the show is retroactively racist. And I just slap, I can't right now. Like, if you want me to point out some racist shows, you guys are going to be pissed, because a lot of these are classic American shows that are great and values and all this, but not really. Like, I don't for a second buy that anybody intentionally went out of their way to do this and spite people or anything like that. I just don't. They were looking for a diverse cast. they pretty much got it. Actually, no, not pretty much. They got it, And it just so happened that this is how it happened, because they were like, okay, well, pink, we're going to associate that with the cheerleader girl. Oh, we got the girl, the popular school one. There you go. The leader, it's going to be the jock type. Okay, we got him. And then they're like, well, who else do we need? We need a nerd. Okay, we got the blue one. And then they're like, okay, so we need a person of color. Well, he's the only other main one that's male. So there you go. And then that's how it lined up. Like, there was never an issue with this. And I remember watching old people that worked on old Power Rangers specifically talking about how when they were changing Rangers in the future, in Turbo, for example, they brought on a new Red Ranger, and it was TJ. He took over for Tommy. And literally nobody complained. I remember all my friends and me waiting for Turbo to premiere. And when they eventually get through like the halfway point and they bring on new Rangers and suddenly their old Rangers are leaving and Tommy's replaced by TJ, we were all like, cool! New Red Ranger! Let's get new action figures and Megazords, Let's go beg our parents for it. It's just, man, how did we get here? How did it get here, guys? Now we're retroactively looking at things that clearly weren't racially motivated. And now we're trying to add this element to it that's like, I don't know. It makes me think that they're going to what? Do those new AI-enhanced specialized versions of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that they're going to be re-releasing because of Playmates? And what? Is each one going to begin by, debuting with a racial insensitivity warning or something? Like, is that what we're at now? That's what we got to do? Man, I can't. It's it's really sad. It really is, but here we are. I don't know what else I could say about this outside of, there's idiots out there already screaming that Disney's going to make the reboot of Power Rangers woke. And I just look at this image and I go, yup. And then I look at every other Power Ranger team and I'm like, yup. Especially that my favorite Blue Ranger is literally a female. And it's a blue female Ranger, But woke. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.